Hey, so I just finished watching the movie The Way Back, the 2020 Ben Affleck movie from the director Gavin O'Connor. And I thought it was good, but it was uneven. First to explain what I was saying, you need to know a little bit about my history with the genre, the director, and a little more detailed analysis of what I thought of the film. So, starting with the genre, I'm not a very big sports movie fan, or just sports fan in general. I don't find much particular enjoyment in watching or playing, so those sections of the movie I don't really find very enjoyable. Another thing is that the director Gavin O'Connor, my favorite movie of his is The Accountant. Up next would be Warrior, which is a great sports movie because of how well it integrates the family dynamic that was present in his Pride and Glory movie. Or no, wait, was that what that one was called? Yeah, Pride and Glory. And it like used it better than Pride and Glory did. And that his weakest movie, in my opinion, is Miracle, which is just a super generic sports movie where nothing is integrated into the sports. It's just your generic sports where nothing interesting is going on. They've seen a million times. It's just boring. And yeah, I really enjoy Warrior and The Accountant, but I couldn't really get into Pride and Glory or Miracle. So going into the way back, it was going to be interesting because I was immediately intrigued by the whole personal Ben Affleck struggles with alcoholism and that being mixed with the sports drama aspect. So I was like, all right, I'm probably going to have a middle of the road review where I like the alcoholic storyline, but get bored by the sports aspect of it. And guess what my opinion of the movie was? Exactly that. So, because of this, I thought the first act was the best part of the movie, and the third act was really good too. But for me, there was a huge lull in the middle act of the movie because that's where most of the sports stuff is. And sure, it's interwoven with like some of his struggles, but not nearly as much. There's a huge chunk where it was just super boring to me because they barely showed any of his personal struggle or anything, and it was just like stuff you'd seen 100 times before. But when it was showing stuff that he was like struggling with and dealing with, and like actually trying to have emotion and stuff, and show stuff that you don't usually see, because it's weird, not a lot of movies I've seen really deal with on a mature level just how unnervingly depressing being an alcoholic is. Because, like, you see just, like, how you just can't live, like, 2 seconds without, like, a drop of alcohol, especially in that first act, where he just has so many beers lined up, and, like, he just can't go through one activity throughout the day without pouring one in. And it's really unnerving and depressing at the same time. And it just creates, like, an unusual reaction to me, and that was the most interesting part of the movie I thought before, because I hadn't seen like a sequence like that where it's just like his whole refrigerator is just beers, and it's just like, oh, this is kind of like unnerving. Weirdly, it was just unique, I thought, to see like a movie portray it that way. I hadn't seen it that way before. Because usually alcoholics are shown as like these unsympathetic characters, but then you make your hero sad little alcoholic, kind of like a washed up has been, sort of like a BoJack type character, and suddenly it becomes way more interesting because you hadn't seen this much in the film genre portrayed in a sympathetic uh, light that is just kind of sad. And then when you create this tragic character backstory along with it, then it gives it more nuance as well. So the middle act being kind of boring to me, threatened for me to lower the score to 7.75. But I think because the ending didn't do the generic final fight against the big team and then the happy winning thing that all the other sports movies did, and that it wasn't as structured as all the other sports movies. I think it's just unique enough, just barely unique enough, that I'm gonna give it like a soft 8 out of 10.